The idea of mindfulness is not to follow the rules or have to get it right or keep your concentration. The idea is that you notice how many different things start whizzing through your mind while you think you're supposed to be concentrating on what the person or the recording is saying. And everybody has this chatty mind that I've mentioned before. That's just normal, regardless of how much anxiety you've got, how busy your brain is. It's just normal. But for people that are suffering with anxiety, fear, panic, it's all coming from the amygdala, and that amygdala is like the monkey in our brain, but its basic needs need to be met, and sometimes we spend way too much time overlooking those basic needs and worrying too much about what we should be doing to try and get rid of our feelings or switch them off or just make them go away any way that we can. So the idea of mindfulness is actually just to retrain the frontal lobe, the part of your brain that you need to use as an observer, and to move away from the control that's taken over. And the way that you retrain your brain is to really just let those thoughts be there, but learn to notice them and to be able to bring your attention back. So you could be trying to do a mindfulness exercise and you're having 30,000 different catastrophic thoughts at the same time. And that's what we do. Not everybody has that many thoughts. But for example, when I started doing mindfulness as part of my therapy, I couldn't concentrate for more than 10 seconds. And I'd be thinking about all sorts of things, like how I might become homeless at some point, or I don't know, all sorts of random things, like what I said to somebody 30 years ago that might have upset them, and maybe that's why they didn't like me. All sorts of random stuff comes into your head. But the point of the mindfulness is, and I didn't understand this for ages, just didn't get it. I was like, oh, what? Is those thoughts are going on in your head, but the mindfulness, whether it's guided mindfulness or just you taking time to be in the present time, because we don't do that. We don't ever make time for that. But you can bring your thoughts back, and you might have to do it 100 times. But all the time that you're doing that, you are actually creating new pathways in your brain. Amazing as that is, and I know that you understand that works. That's scientific, that's real. You can create new pathways in your brain by retraining it in this way. So I will read out this. It's like a beginner's mindfulness, and that is really the place to start, because some of them are actually just a bit too much. It's like trying to do a meditation when you've not done one before. It's like you end up falling asleep or something. So I will read it out, and if you can sit and listen to it and follow it, and just keep guiding your thoughts back every time they drift off. Let them drift off. Notice that they've drifted off, and that's the massive part of it, noticing it, and just bring it back. Bringing it back to the present as many times as you need to do, and just making time in the day to do that for 30 seconds or however long you need, just noticing and bringing it back. And that's not the same as avoiding. It's quite the opposite. Just give it a go. Okay. So begin by sitting comfortably with your feet flat on the ground and your back supported by the back of the chair. Arrange your head, neck and shoulders so that they are upright but not stiff. As we do this exercise, you can do one of two things with your eyes. You can either close them, or if you'd prefer not to, you can leave them open with your lids half closed and your eyes directed at a point approximately 30 degrees in front of you. This is how it's best to conduct most mindfulness exercises. This is not the right way to do it, but it's a useful way to start. If you're comfortable, begin by allowing your eyes to close gently. In your mind's eye, turn your attention to your breathing. Simply observe the rising and falling of your breath in your chest and belly. Though you will likely be tempted, there is no need to try to control your breathing in any way. As best you can, allow your breath to breathe itself. Next, turn your attention to your body in the chair. Scan your body, observing the places where you make contact with the chair. Notice the sensations of touch or pressure there. As you do this exercise, you will notice that your mind tends to drift off. That's completely normal. That's what minds do. Minds are prone to drifting off towards problem solving, predicting, worrying, planning, judging, and a variety of other activities. When you notice that you have done this, just gently bring yourself back to this moment and the area of your body or the environment to which I'm directing your attention. Now, turn your attention to your feet inside your shoes or your socks or your slippers. Notice the variety of sensations there: touch, pressure, temperature. See if you can pick out each individual toe. If it helps, wiggle your toes a little bit. Next, turn your attention to the places where your skin makes contact with the air. On your face, on your hands, wherever. Notice the sensations there. Next, turn your attention to the sounds around you, both inside the room and, if you can pick them out, outside the room. Finally, bring your attention back to your breathing. Watch or feel the rising and falling in your chest and belly as your breath flows in and flows out. This here, what you are noticing, is the present moment. And this exercise is a simple practice in mindfulness, paying attention to the here and now without judgment. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room.